Good evening and welcome to another series of satirical news-based panel games which two teams contest and Paul Merton wins. So, one gay man and one black woman, that's fulfilled the BBC minorities quota. And for the rest of the series, it's back to white males from Cambridge. So,
now this is the entire cabinet trying to escape the country. No, this is the veal in... This is the veal...
Now that's what I call a balanced bit of BBC project.
Are you happy with our answer?
Vaguely, yes. I mean, it's sort of...
He's a poet, isn't he?
Has the right sort of element.
What women like him.
Women like
Yeah,
him.
they do, yeah.
I can't see ever tell.
No, I can't. You see, people appear different on television. We know he looks like that.
Yeah. So very thin lips.
Mean lips.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say mean, but
No.
nothing to get your teeth into.
So, to round two, this week taking the form of our Great Escape round, in which we cordially invite the teams to emulate the achievement of so many prisoners this year by escaping from some of this country's maximum security prisons. So, Paul and Julian, here's a map of Parkhurst. Using your skill, judgment and knowledge of old Peter Sellers films, your job is to find a way out, starting from B Wing.
Well, it's not quite right, this map. This is the disco. And that's the herb garden. So anyway, they come out the window here.
Yeah.
Let's say there's three of them.
Yeah.
Slasher Charlie.
Slasher Charlie.
That's two of them.
Oh, there's two of them, is it? No, right.
Who's the other one? Nobby.
Yeah. Slasher Charlie and Nobby. So who's the lead, do you think?
Well, Slasher.
All right.
And they go in here to get a few herbs.
Yeah.
Fill the pockets
Yeah.
there with the herbs.
Yeah.
And, oh look, they see the wall.
Yeah, so they go over the wall.
Are you with me so far?
I'm with you so far. It looks really plausible to me.
Then they're on the top of the wall.
Yeah.
Slasher jumps down
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Says, come on, lads.
That's Nobby and Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobby's a bit scared.
Yeah. You think?
He's lost his bottle.
Has he really?
So the other one pushes him.
Yeah. I think that's very plausible, but I also think it could possibly be that, right, they tunnelled out of the metal workshop, right, using the tools, into the middle of the football pitch, about there. His head pops up just as a penalty's being taken. Knocks the head clean off the body, straight into the tennis court, would you believe it? That's knocked backwards and forwards for about half a match, and then it goes over the wall and he's away. And if you look carefully, you can see him getting away in a minicab.
Ian and Diane, map of Elmley prison in Kent. Your job is not so much to break out of Elmley as to break in, as a man recently did, in order to beat up one of the inmates. So how did you get in?
What happens is, you go to the front gate, you say, good evening, I'm Lord Longford. I'd like to come and visit someone. They say, certainly come in. Do you want to help them escape as well?
It's not that bad an answer. It's pretty close to what actually happened. The man who broke into Elmley hit upon the ingenious ruse of presenting himself at the front gate and asking to be let in.
That's what
On the grounds that he was a lawyer, in fact.
Really, we should be inside anyway.
I noticed that you sort of looked at the map and didn't find anything even remotely surprising about there being a golf course.
There's no scale.
Getting bored or something. Round four is normally our missing words round, but this week it appears to be missing. So instead we're going to step into the world of custodial sentencing for a remarkably similar round entitled Going Down. Each team gets a list of crimes together with the sentences that were actually...
Master of the single entendre.
Then you start on me.
No worries there, Julie.
I'll try and hide my disappointment.
It'd be a challenge, though, wouldn't it?
I'll do it for charity.
Yeah, or you could do it on You Bet. In 3 minutes. You can have him tied up against the wall. I'd have to be.
And with Paul Merton tonight, a man who 2 years ago threatened to sue this programme for suggesting he wore dirty underpants, an outrageous libel that I inadvertently seem to have made all over again. Michael Winner.
Now, you know... Now, Mr. Chairman, there are certain items we cannot talk about tonight. That's been the subject of litigation, and that is one of them. And I have brought, therefore, a pair of my wife fronts to show you, and I have described them and written on them to Angus, love Michael, because you read the apology, Angus.
Well, they're absolutely gorgeous, what can I say?
And very large, obviously.
Eddie, you might like to...
Is it past the underpants? You've got to have music while this goes on. Then when you stop, you have to put the underpants on, and it gets into a different programme at that point.
Exactly. Not that kind of show.
Or it could be a round of whose underpants are these? Famous celebrities.
Yeah.
These are Michael Winners. Do I get any points?
Well, you know, with the VE Day 50th coming up and stuff, I'm sick of all these adverts for these records, songs that won the war. Why do we bother having an army? If these songs won the war, you know, send Vera Lynn out to Africa to sing a couple of choruses and roll out the barrel, and the German army, we can't compete with these lyrics.
Yes, it's the use of £13 million of national lottery funds
To go to the Churchills. I know it isn't.
Why is he just repeating the answer 2 minutes later in the vain hope that somebody's forgotten I've already said it?
Ian, ready? Here's yours. Your starter for nothing.
Triumph has the bra for the way you are.
An instant caption, but we normally wait till the end of the programme for that. Well, I look forward
I'll say that one later then.
Yes, look forward to hearing it all over again in about 20 minutes' time. Eddie, your inscrutable smiles belong to Mona Lisa, the deep-sea anglerfish again, Theresa Gorman again, and a Klingon.
The Mona Lisa, they've all got teeth, except Mona Lisa, who didn't have any teeth. She was completely toothless. The woman that he got, Leonardo, he said, stand back there, and she, and he said, just smile, and I'll paint this groovy photo. And
Groovy photo.
yeah.
I knew he invented the helicopter, but he really was pretty ahead of his time.
He said, I'll take a photo of you from the helicopter, and with my pet fish nearby, who's got a big thing coming out of his nose. Well, they've all got problems, haven't they? Except the Klingon. Because the Klingon's the only one, he's the only one who's been in Star Trek. Right, that's true, whether you like it or not.
No, that is true. I'm not going to argue that.
No, Mona Lisa's the one out, because all the rest explode when they're brought to the surface. No. Oh, God, I don't know.
I can tell that, actually, to be honest.
They've all been allowed back into the Tory party.
Mm-hmm.
Except Mona Lisa, because it's a painting and doesn't really vote.
Of course. You can't allow painting back in, can you? Unlike a deep-sea anglerfish, for example.
They can come in as long as it's a proxy vote, some sort of situation like that. You know, it's a European fish.
That's right.
Give it a chance.
Of course.
Incidental work, and he'll have a big grin. Be hosting a quiz show before you know.
Yes.
I hope so.
The answer is, I'll tell you, that none of them have eyebrows, with the exception, obviously, of the Klingon.
What has Theresa Gorman got on her top of her eyes?
So two trained caterpillars.
No, they're,
Henry and Edith.
they're tattoos.
You're saying that she's got tattooed eyebrows. So how do we know that's not a tattooed face? She might look like somebody completely different.
How do we know?
She might be John Gummer.
Angus, come on, why? Why has she got tattooed eyebrows?
Because she plucked them out when she was a teenager.
Just for the hell of it.
They grow back, Angus.
Well, not in her case, Ian.
Did she,
3 months for growing potatoes, what?
in Michael Winner's underpants?
Apparently the worst thing you can take if you're a spider is not heroin, which is just makes you go a bit loopy, but coffee.
Except marijuana, because when they gave that to the spiders, they made about half the web and then just gave up.
Yeah.
Sat around, talked absolute rubbish for an hour.
And then went and bought some chocolate from late night petrol station.
Thank you.
They started talking like that.
Yes, yeah.
And alcohol wasn't good either, was it?
Not for a spider, no.
No. Sort of very crazy webs.
With that simple mime, he conjured up an extraordinary imaginative picture.
Fantastic.
Crazy webs.
It's
That could be
Marcel.
like, you could do a programme, Ian Hislop's Tales of the Supernatural. Sit in there, a chair. Tonight's episode. I'd watch it.
I wouldn't.
Well, you'd be in it, Ian, wouldn't you?
Don't tell me you don't watch yourself later, Angus, on the video.
Freeze frame.
That suit looked particularly terrible, didn't it?
Well, it looks rather similar to yours, actually, Ian, it has to be said.
Except it's got stripes on and is a different colour.
Yes, obviously.
I think it's
apart from
back
that,
to the webs, Angus.
That's the sort of web that a spider creates if you train it to be a tailor for 5 years.
And give it heroin.
And give it heroin.
Who is it that's conducting this research? As I want to know?
Scientists. Boffins.
Eggheads.
You're clunching
Blokes in
on
white coats.
And why are they doing it? Why are they giving spiders all these drugs?
For a laugh.
They did the same thing on silkworms, and they create all those ghastly shirts that American tourists wear. And they said they could do it with spiders as well.
Are these the tourists who then sell you those shirts?
He doesn't wear those sorts of shirts.
Oh, look at this crazy shirt. Dark webs.
Our guest publication this week is an Australian journal, the highly regarded, in Wagga Wagga at least, Goat World. A tour through a goat's wonderful what?
Duodenum. It's a magic ride. They've got the fairy lights. It's a treat for the kiddies. They love it. It's either that or stomach.
It's a CD collection.
Is it World of Jazz?
Wonderful.
Oh, VE Day Memories.
The goats that won the war.
Yeah. We'll eat again.
No, stomach. Quite how you got that right answer, I haven't the faintest idea.
Well,
unless you read Goat World.
Yeah. Just for the pin-ups.
Next, wheezing Pavarotti pulls out of what?
Goat.
Just try and wipe that image from my mind.
Is it opera?
Dame Kiri Takano. Oh, sorry, that's not an opera, sorry.
No, just did the same joke with goat, anyway. Although not exactly the same, obviously.
It's an opera.
Sorry. If any of Dame Kiri's relatives are watching, I do apologise. Opera is, in fact, the right answer. Well done, Paul. Next, Portillo moves closer to what?
Plastic surgery on lips.
Is it Portaloo? He's changed his name in stages. 1 letter a month.
Well, the Prince Edward connection is something of a mystery.
Maybe he's having a homosexual love affair with Will Carlin. I posed it as a question rather than a statement.
Yes, I know. On the grounds that it might now stay in the programme.
I'm glad you said that, though, Paul.
So am I. Because it sounded just like me, and if somebody else had said it, it'd been very confusing.
It would have been very weird.
A soldier was having a, they were having a sort of
barrack room jape, which involved putting a hand grenade up someone's bum as a sort of an initiation.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it got stuck, obviously.
It got stuck, and then they tried to pull it out, and the pin came out. And there was a certain amount of talk along the lines of, oh dear, shall we evacuate? The guy had already evacuated, as a matter of fact. And he was rushed to hospital, and a combination of the bomb squad, the bum squad, and just several interested parties who'd won a lottery and allowed the chance to see this operation taking place. And they took the hand grenade out, and everything's all well and good, and it happened in Germany.
Astonishing, it's absolutely right. Yes, it did. Anywhere specific in Germany?
Yeah, up the arse.
I said, but hey, we should get an extra point for that.
Yeah,
well,
we did point out the feet are sticking out over the edge of the bed, you see, which would be a height problem.
Yes, I did hear you. And you did get a point for it.
Yeah, not too bad.
Like
Why don't you give him 2 points, Angus?
I might take it away from you.
Well,
Don't you dare, young man.
Did you make that especially for the programme?
Yeah, I made this one as well. They're having a single out together now.
Are they?
Yeah. This is the video.
I think you'll have to stop that. I'm getting moved all over again.
Yeah. You've met William Shatner, haven't you?
Yeah, I didn't like him.
Oh.
I would guess that he might be wearing a wig. That would be my guess. What about Wogan, then? No, no, definitely not. Really? No. What about Paul Merton? Difficult to say from this angle. No, I don't think so.
would anyone buy a wig that looked like...
Comment?
Paul Daniels?
Axl Rose is the only one whose name is an anagram of all sex.
Tony Blair's name is an anagram of Tory Blan B.
It's also an anagram of Oral Binty. I'm not quite sure what Oral Binty means, but it's an anagram of it, yes.
And slash is the same if you read it back or front, apart from the L. It's a near palindrome.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
A near palindrome.
A near
Or a word, as we call it.
The one at the top left, the only one who's had his head turned round back to front.
And so, with all the predictability of Cyprus voting for Greece in the Eurovision Song Contest, we start with round one, our customary film round.
How can you resign from a newspaper that never employed you? I was just writing a column for them. I just won't be writing anymore.
I should explain that Germaine has had a terrific spat with another writer on The Guardian. And she ended up calling a fellow feminist a woman who had bird's nest hair, 3 fat inches of cleavage, and wore fuck me shoes.
Incorrect. What I actually said was that women who are self-destructive, in particular those women whose self-image is so low that they cannot appear in public without their hair birds nested all over the place, 3 inches of exposed cleavage and fuck me shoes. I didn't actually name anybody.
This was in a piece about Suzanne Moore, though, wasn't it?
Well, she had been named...
I mean, I hate to put 2 and 2 together.
She had been... You see, look, what really happened was...
Why would shoes want to be fucked anyway?
It's not the shoes. The shoes are a signal.
What sort of shoes are you wearing, Germaine?
Don't fuck me, shoes. Leave me alone, shoes, or I'll kick you in the face, shoes.
You're just checking.
You know... Can you get fuck me socks?
Before
you open them at Christmas and go, fuck me, socks!
Who is Dave Letterman? Sort of American Postman Pat, is it?
First Christian TV station on satellite in this country.
It's actually called Arc 2 for some reason, as if
Well, there was one before, wasn't there?
Was that right?
It's on top of Mount Ararat.
Arc 2, this time it's personal.
Yeah.
It is the new Christian TV station Arc 2, launched by, amongst others, the Bishop of Wakefield.
But is that a private joke?
It is, unless I tell somebody else, yeah.
UB40 is a lot of them.
That's one of the most pathetic answers I've ever heard.
Well, no, I won't give the answer until they've exhausted every possible...
No, don't let stop you, Mr. Swat.
No. Well, I suspect this is because there was the judge a couple of years ago who said, who's Paul Gascoigne, and I believe the same sort of situation happened with who's UB40, because there was a problem with bootleg tapes or whatever. So I presume it's either the ground nuts or the bouncy castle. He didn't know what a bouncy castle was. It's the same judge, perhaps, and the ground nuts, he knew what they were.
Is the right answer.
Ian, I know why Paul always wins. It's because he's quite good at the game.
Yeah, this is John Major announcing, the Cabinet are all behind me.
Or else he's saying... He's got white tassels attached to his nipples. And he's saying, and now I'm going to make them go anti-clockwise.
We say thank you to our panellists.
No, thank you.
No, please.
No, please, it's been my pleasure.
No, it's
very good of you to come.
Yeah.
Well,
it is, actually, yes. I can't be bothered to thank them any longer.
Don't the audience look very blue on this show? I've never noticed. You can't tell when you watch it on the telly. It's like being at a bloody Smurf convention.
That white line on the floor, does that mean a square has been murdered? So I have... He looks like he's been to Amsterdam, doesn't he?
Well, I think the thing is to go low, isn't it, on
time.
this? I imagine talking about the cost of living.
People like doing that.
Do they?
Yeah.
More than having sex for the first time?
Yeah. Having sex for the first time, terribly dull. Cost of living, pretty interesting.
It's funny, because when I had sex for the first time, I found myself discussing the cost of living. Because I thought 10 quid was a bit expensive. I'd go for that. Discussing the cost of living.
Discussing the cost of living. OK, let's see how many people enjoyed discussing the cost of living. And it's 39%.
I told you, you're completely out of touch with the people of this country.
You know, this is true, I saw Family Fortunes once. You know when two people get up and they have to hit the buzzer to say... And he says, right, you're going to name a person whose existence hasn't been proved, but who people still believe in. And they went... A woman said, Hitler. And it was Bob Moncas, and he said, no, I think he did exist. Right? And this old woman who was standing there went... And he said, yes, and she said, a driving licence. And she was answering from the earlier round. She'd been thinking about it for 10 minutes. Poor lamb.
Yes, it is astonishing how stupid some people can be, but I would remind you that you've just got 39%.
What's the lowest there? No one should think Charles should be king. That must be almost no one. Just him. One person. And he's not sure. I don't
know. Another startling impression.
It's incredible, isn't it? 21, congratulations.
So, should I twist again?
No, don't.
No.
You've
Like I
obviously-
did last summer?
Chubby checker.
I'm sorry?
Is that the right answer, chubby checker?
Not as far as I'm aware, no. Although he did record Let's Twist Again last summer. 4% of people thought Will Carling should be sacked. Not for his run-in with the rugby selectors, surprisingly, but for his commercials for Quorn. 3% of the
We've got a bit
population...
of pot and kettle there, haven't we, Angus?
well, I don't advertise Quorn.
Compared to some of the ones you've done. That one with the snake.
I like that.
All right,
I
this is
don't
Angus
remember being
Deaton.
in that one.
Give us your money.
It's incredible, isn't it? Prince Charles, me. It's almost as if
I
I'm
can do
here.
Peter Lorre. You know, from Casablanca, Maltese Falcon.
How's it go?
Go on. You despise me, don't you? Is it Chubby Checker?
No.
Who's Chubby Checker?
So is it Fred?
Chubby Checker, let's twist again.
Chubby Checker.
Now, let Ian tell you who Chubby Checker is.
Impression?
You with me?
Oh, no, I know, yeah.
Yeah,
he's there.
it'll never be as good as his Jimmy Somerville's anyway, so... which he's doing at the moment.
Twist again!
It's now turned into new faces, isn't it? What marks would you give for star quality? So, am I right?
Is Sergey the only one who drew a character who looks a bit like Ian? I mean that in the nicest possible way. Oh, I've let you down.
Snowy?
He's done Tintin, Prince Charles, Jimmy Somerville. No wonder Mike Yarwood can't get work. Is it was that after court heard he was celebrating his 500th drunken conviction?
Absurd answer and completely correct. Well done. Running on stage during a performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream is what you were about to say, obviously.
How on earth is anyone in this studio or this country meant to get these answers right? What sort of quiz is this?
Well,
it's like saying, right, what's the answer? No question, what's the answer?
That's fair
And we
enough,
sit
yes.
here going, Gibraltar, whiskey, mustard.
Well,
Can I take it from this that we're winning at the moment?
Oh, absolutely.
How did you get celebrating his 500th conviction, then?
I remembered it.
Well, that's what we were hoping you'd do with this one. Which you obviously didn't. And finally, libel victors settlement includes right to what journalist?
Murder? Has that been introduced? Well, I can't do questions about libel victors, since I've never won one.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, but
I very nearly did last week. The judge threw the case out and told us both to go away and pay our own costs. And we called that a win. Thank you.
You may never have won a libel case, but you certainly know what a libel victor looks like.
Big fat eyebrows, two sons. Ooh.
I don't
You can
think...
edit that, love.
Edit that, love? Who's this now, Lionel
lawyer.
Blair? You can edit that, love.
Good evening and welcome to the show, and for those of you watching on video, congratulations for having something better to do on the Friday night. I could have done that better, but I don't think I'll bother. In the news this week, after... Do you think so?
Go on, start again. Just for a laugh.
What is the news story?
Well, she's bringing out her memoirs in which she sort of says John Major was useless and Tony Blair's the best Labour leader since Hugh Gates.
It's a sort of love story.
Do you think it's any way a slur on your brother, the way in which she's being so complimentary about Tony Blair?
I haven't got a brother. So if I did, it would be a slur.
I just wanted to check that out.
Yeah. It's a fair question, isn't it? I only wish I had an equally good answer.
What about yes, she's a silly cow?
Well, no, I would never say that about any lady.
But Mrs. Thatcher?
No, you're trying to trap me, Angus. I think we'll avoid that one.
Okay.
We'll ignore him, shall we? Yes.
I wish we could. I think we should play records.
Yes. Chat amongst ourselves.
That's what people want. A good chat is all they want.
Yes. You can talk about that new magazine that's come out in opposition to Private Eye.
That's right, yeah.
Oops, sorry. Go on.
No one's heard of it, Terry.
No, Private Eye, it's a magazine. You must have seen it. Lots of jokes about Edward Heath being a grocer, things like that.
It used to cost 90 pence when
he was
a boy, but it's £1 now. That's when I stopped buying it. It only went up to £1.
Oh, really?
I still read it, but I go into Smith's.
And it takes 10 minutes, doesn't it?
You can photocopy it for less than £1, actually.
Well, there's a sign there for naughty drinks. What's a naughty drink? Split crotch Pepsi or something like that. Peephole Kiora. I suppose it depends where you put the straw. Well, this is...
Clinton is the first president since Richard Tricky Dicky Nixon to acquire a popular nickname with the American public. He's called Slick Willie. Slick referring to his famously coiffured hairstyle, and Willie, of course, referring to an affectionate term for Bill, which is what he calls his penis.
Must be a bit awkward for his wife then if the maid shouts out, there's another bill just come through the letterbox. I think it's urgent, it's red.
They're all singers except the baby.
What are John's hits?
It's, wish me luck as you wave me goodbye. The Bastille's the odd one out. Next question. Is it Chubby Checker?
It's a strange feeling of deja vu. It's that...
I thought you'd say that.
Princess Diana, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jeffrey Archer, and Paul Merton.
That's not fair. I was very ill that day.
This is actually taken from the Sunday
It's
Mirror
an easy
magazine.
one you've given him here, isn't it?
I think this is a bodybuilding question. The odd one out is obvious. Unless you count bodybuilding the Pavarotti way.
This is a bit difficult to take from a bald-headed short arse.
Good to see that legendary repartee in action.
You started it.
Cleverest man in England. Bald-headed short arse.
You know your name. You're all right.
Yeah.
A man with very large penis stands at the back of the room. It could happen. That's my fear.
Yeah. It's...
And the bloke who's got the little blue book to the right, so there's no need for that, Brian. And the bloke in the glasses and the little lapel thing there is saying I could rest me beer on that.
This is a man who planted mines in his garden as a burglar prevention. That's it. He hasn't caught a burglar yet, but he's lost his left arm.
Who is he?
He just told you he's a bloke who plants mines in his garden.
Yes, a bloke. I was hoping for slightly more than a bloke, if you could...
Well, how about Dick Small? That's what he'd end up with.
Our apologies to any Mr. Dick Smalls that are watching.
It says she's written a book, or she's going to write a book about talking vegetables, which has got nothing to do with the royal family or anything like that. And she's writing in collaboration with Dick Small. And they're also going to do a film about Queen Victoria.
Who are?
Dick Small and Fergie.
Not entirely true.
They've formed a company called Fergie Dick Films. Which wasn't their first title, I can assure you.
No. Michael Aspel, Richard and Judy, Sooty, and the popular news quiz, Have I Got News For You?
And there's a nice photograph of you in the middle there, Angus.
It could be Sooty's the only one. He's in a TV show presented by a human.
Oh, hello. Yes, it started. Right.
It's been going on for quite some time. You just hadn't noticed it.
Yeah.
Now, Jeffrey Archer.
He's a real...
And I leave you with news that Birds of a Feather have unveiled the replacement to play the woman next door who can't get enough...
That'll be a retake,
That'll be a retake, yes. Okay. And I leave you with news. Yes,
yeah, leave us with some news.
I'll leave you with news.
What are Birds of a Feather up to these days?
Tell us about that.
Apparently, they've unveiled a replacement to play the woman next door who can't get enough sex.
Really?
It
went very well.
Yes, I thought so.